week, we provide a China update as it's been just over a month since our last Pulse report on the world's largest processing powerhouse. And for this episode, we recommend you buckle in for this roller coaster.
But first, as a part of our What's Good campaign, which seeks to spotlight something good happening in the seafood world as opposed to unfortunate news. Scientists at the Philippines National Fisheries Research and Development Institute have found a way to process shrimp heads into food powder, which would cut down on environmental impacts from improper disposal of these nutrient-rich heads, all while creating a new revenue stream as this wastage makes up 50% of the raw material, which means almost half of the money spent on whole shrimp currently goes down the drain. The powder can be used as shrimp flavor seasoning, seafood broths, or soups, among others. And that's what's good this week in the world of seafood.
For the latter part of February, the only obstacle seafood producers had to deal with were waiting for processing plants to reopen, worker shortages, and higher costs of raw material from huge demurrage charges and other freight components. Then, as March was in our horizon, Russia invaded the Ukraine on February 24th, upending the industry overnight, and COVID cases started surging again in China, reversing all of the progress made with their strict COVID-0 strategy. Fast forward to April, and this is the current conditions inside China. Although major hubs like Shanghai try to battle surging cases of COVID-19, processing plants in Dalian have slowly been getting approved to reopen by the government and are processing again, but not without enduring strict COVID-19 prevention measures. We were told some of the measures implemented in Dalian were as strict as not allowing workers, including office employees, to leave the plant for the whole duration of lockdowns, often offering workers more pay to not go home. Other measures including having cameras installed into various parts of plants with a live feed to police stations and government offices as a part of COVID-19 prevention plans. Plants that have reopened and are running are said to be running at about 50% capacity, limited by access to raw materials and worker shortages, and are not taking on any new customers. We also caught wind that one of the larger cold storages in Yudu just reopened, which means there will be some access to raw material. However, we were advised most of the pollock would have exceeded the expiry date by now, and some of the cod have about 6 months left before expiry. Tradex has already put our quality control inspectors on alert of this when supervising our production. And with that said, if you are not buying from Tradex, make sure your suppliers can provide you with an inspection report detailing all components of a production run. Most Chinese plants are currently in a holding position when it comes to new season Russian raw materials, as they are waiting to see what parameters the US government finalizes on the ban of Russian seafood imports. But the other big obstacle is that China and Russia still do not have a mutual payment system to facilitate currency for products since Russia was banned from SWIFT, the global interbank messaging system, on February 26. Latest catch reports out of Russia are showing about 800,000 metric tons of pollock harvested so far this year, which is ahead of last year's pace. However, there are reports their fishing efforts are slowing, as Russia is said to be holding on to a lot of inventory without any major export markets to unload the products to. Our recommendation this week is 2 parts, short-term and long-term. In the short term, continue focusing your purchasing on products that are already in North America or products that are caught, processed, and sold in North America. For the long term, start talking to Tradex Foods about your future seafood programs for value-added Asia products. If you're not already, be sure to subscribe to our 3-Minute Market Insight using the sign-up form below to keep tuned into all upcoming market insights. Thank you for joining me for the Tradex Foods 3-Minute Market Insight. This has been Robert Ryerson reminding you to stay safe, buy smart, and eat more seafood.